So hey, welcome. You're here with myself, Tony V, and my amazing wife, Nicki V. And this is a short introductory video about our Sapphire program, which is our least expensive and least time-consuming program to turn your relationship around. So look, I've got a question for you, which is one of our favourite questions to ask couples if it's the first time they've ever seen us, which is, if you had to score your relationship on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being it's amazing, it's the best it could be, and 0 is actually it's like a disaster, we're at breaking point right now, what number literally jumps out at you? Now, if your number was 7 or less, the Sapphire program's a really, really good place to start. That the statistics for relationships breaking down in the UK are unbelievably bad. For example, did you know that there are over 2,000 divorces that pass through the divorce courts literally every week in the UK? I mean, that is absolutely sad.
Yes, so you're probably wondering, what kind of issues do we assist people with on our Sapphire program? And will it be the kind of issues that you're really struggling with right now? Well, let me explain to you first of all about one couple who came to us, and actually they scored, when we spoke to them at first, they were both scoring I think 6 or 7 out of 10.
Indeed, yeah.
So they were in our what we call our okay kind of zone, yes. And what happened was they said, well look, but we're getting married this year, and what we find is we're arguing more and more and more about, you know, about money, about who does what around the house, all the sorts of things that cause couples to get more and more disconnected if they don't resolve it. And what they found when they joined the program was that the more they understood, and as you know, ours is an educational program, the more they understood about themselves and about each other and what was really happening in their communication and in their relationship, they actually started to say, well, we thought we were at 6 or 7 out of 10. We actually think that we're doing, you know, not as well as that. And if we continue to argue about money, about the children, about our home and how, you know, how we keep it and who does what to whom when, actually our relationship was likely to get even worse. So they joined the program, they learnt more about themselves and about each other, and started to learn what we call the how. How are you going to reconnect? How are you going to reconnect even when you have an argument between you? And they are finding that they are getting closer and closer and closer, which is obviously great because they're getting married this year. Also, let me share with you about another couple. This is where they had got to breaking point. There had been all sorts of things going on in their relationship which were not healthy, not good. There was addictions, there was some infidelity. And they were at the point where she'd asked him to move out, and their relationship was, to all intents and purpose, over. And they joined their program. And as very, very quickly, probably I think, Tony, within the first week or so, they'd started to communicate much, much better. He'd actually moved back in, and that really happened very, very quickly because they were able to communicate, they were able to talk to each other about what had been felt in their relationship before, and they started to perhaps a slightly slower progress than with the first couple that I talked about. They started to reconnect, to understand each other, to really agree how they were going to work, how they were going to live together going forward. So those are the kind of issues, everything from just slightly disconnected to really at breaking point, or where one of the partners they're not even living together.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the first couple you talked about are all now like 8s and 9s. They know what to do. They're staying more connected. When they do trip up, they know what to do because they've got the tools. I always say they've got tools in their toolkit, which they didn't know. In fact, I remember the guy saying, I can't believe this, because it's like all it is I didn't know what I didn't know. And now I know, he said, I can't unknow this now. I know what to do when we disconnect. So they've done great. The other two, I believe, are 1 one of them was a 1, maybe
Yes.
one was a 2. So we're
Yes.
right down the scale with these guys. And as Nicki said, they've moved out. But they're going a bit more of a steady pace. But they're using what we call the V relationship strategy, which is the 2 key things, which is they both learn, as Nicki said, about themselves, and they've learned masses about each other. So they then know how to turn the dial back up and get back into connection again. So how do you get started? Well, look, we're going to be very honest with you. It's much better than just dive in to buy the Sapphire program, which you can do if you choose to. In fact, you can, under this video or around the video, there's a button where you can grab the brochure, tells you all about the prices, you know, how
And what's included.
What's included. There's a payment plan and all sorts of things for you to give you more information. So feel free to download the brochure. But actually, the thing that you can do that will probably assist you the most is to jump on our, what we call, book your first session. Have this first session with us, which is a £75 investment. It's an hour or so, sometimes a little less, sometimes a fair bit more. It is what it is. And in that session, remember, what we're going to do is we're going to find out where you are right now. We're going to find out where you want to be. And then if the Sapphire program is the best option for you, we're definitely going to go, yep, look, we know with these couples that even in a week, after a week, they are writing things that are like unbelievable compared to where they were.